here. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. I took yesterday off, just took a day off to spend with the fam. So we're back today, back at it again. Um, if you guys are new to the channel, you don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. You can also follow me on Twitter at jam_creates, also on Instagram at jam_creates, all that good stuff. If you want to help support the channel, we've got merch. We've got Smiley Bones stickers. We've got Indie Comics Underground stickers and shirts. We've got Smiley Bones shirts. Indie Comics Underground, of course, is my free online zine that will get sent right to your mailbox. And it's got interviews and previews and all kinds of cool stuff. And you can, I'll put the link down below. You can sign up for that. Subscribers get it first before the rest of the internet does. Just go to www.indiecomicsunderground.com. Okay, so today we're doing another old school comics. That's right, it's old school, so you gotta spell school with a K and comics with an X, because that's where we're at, yo. So anyway, I wonder how many times I make myself laugh while doing these videos. So anyway, I found a fun one to do, going through my boxes and stuff. This one is, and it's somewhat timely. I mean, it's a little bit late, obviously. The anniversary of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie was back in March. And I actually watched it back in March. Again, I watched it for my birthday. My daughter had never seen it. I wanted her to see it. So we all watched it as a family. She really enjoyed it. And so now I thought it would be fun because I remembered that I have this. I dug it out, the comic book adaptation of the movie. The really interesting thing about this, to me at least, at the time, having read the comics and then seeing the movie and knowing where the movie took the inspiration from the comics, you know, there's literally stuff taken right out of the comic book that they use in the movie, which is great. It's a great adaptation of the comic in movie form. And then the funny thing is, to me, that they made a comic book adaptation of the movie, which in itself was a very close adaptation of the comic book. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm just going to flip to the back for a second because that's where they put the credits. The adaptation, and this is the other thing I find really interesting, the adaptation of the movie was done by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman, the creators of the Ninja Turtles. Eastman did the layouts, Laird wrote the script, the pencils were by Jim Lawson, the inks were by Eric Talbot, Kevin Eastman, and Peter Laird. So I wonder, I haven't done any research to see if this is the case or not, but I really have to wonder how many times a comic book was adapted into a movie and then the movie adaptation, the comic book adaptation of that movie was actually done by the creators of the original comic. That's a really cool thing. It makes it like this special sort of like second go through for these guys of these characters that they created. It's really kind of a unique thing, and I wonder if it's been done in any other case. Obviously it would have to be with an indie book, because, like, you know, obviously, you know, you're not gonna get, like, you know, Stan Lee didn't do like a comic book adaptation. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko didn't do a comic book adaptation of the Spider-Man movie by Sam Raimi, like, you know. So anyway, let's get into it. It absolutely, like, 100% follows the plot of the film very closely. You know, you've got the April O'Neil reporting on everything, and it's the April looks like the April from the comics. If you read the comics back in the day, April always had like the black curly hair. You know, in the cartoon later she became the redhead. Obviously the original comics were all on black and white, just like this is. So you just kind of, oh, she's got black hair, okay. And they even do the, like, breaking the light and then the fight scene, just like in the beginning of the movie when they rescue April. And they do the whole, like, you know, coming down the sewers and celebrating and, you know, Bossa Nova, Chevy Nova, you know, like, and then I mean, the other thing is, I will say the art in this is really, really good. Like, I know it's again, it's crazy because it's a movie, a movie adaptation of a comic book movie that in and of itself was a very close adaptation of the original comic. And I know I keep saying that, but like when you look at this, like there's a lot of love put into this book. And the characters look like their comic book version. I should have went and grabbed my old Turtles books just to show you the difference though in the way the Turtles look. The Turtles look, this was a kind of a later version of what the Turtles kind of looked like in the comic books. In the original comics, they had that kind of pointy nose, like almost like a beak, like a turtle has in real life. These were more chunky, a little more rounded, but still, like, I mean, just fantastic looking art. Like, this is a movie adaptation. They could have just phoned this in. Like, let's be honest. Like, they could have done a half-ass job on this, and people like me would have bought it because I was just Ninja Turtle crazy. Like, I was absolutely obsessed with the Turtles, so I would have bought anything. But then, like, they didn't. Like, they did this, like, really fantastic job. And it just shows, like, I think this is what having the creators of the characters doing the adaptation of the movie gets you. It gets you people who genuinely care, aren't just out trying to make a quick buck, but are trying to put together something really, really, like, quality. And this is what this gets you. It gets you people who care, making something of really fantastic quality. And I'm so happy I have this, honestly. Like, I really am. I'm so glad that I actually picked this up back in the day. I mean, what was it? I'm just so like I didn't. This was not quite the height of my comic buying time yet. That didn't come until a little bit later when I was a little bit older and had more money to spend. But I was getting there at this point. But like, still, I'm just so happy I picked this up because it's so close. But the one thing it doesn't have, like, he's talking about it's the pizza dude's got 30 seconds. Now everybody knows the famous line from the movie, and it's actually not in the adaptation. The whole wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. It's actually not in there. What's interesting also, everybody loves to talk about this. He's seeing Bat Dude. Raphael was seeing Bat Dude in the actual movie. It was Critters. He's like, great car, stupid costume. And then you have the infamous Raphael Casey Jones meeting. And it's actually a little bit different because you remember in the movie, like when he comes over the taxi, like that's the end. It's over. They actually meet up again here and continue. So it's interesting that like it keeps on going. So I'll skip a little bit, because I want to show like just some of the great art. Like, look at that. Like, that's so great. Like, that's a poster right there. This page is a poster, dude. I would have had that in my room. I had so many Ninja Turtle posters in my room, dude. You have no idea. I'm telling you, I was absolutely turtle crazy. You get the whole Beans is barking upstairs if you can hear him. You get this double page spread. This is another one. I would have hung this up in my room. Are you kidding me? Like, this would make an amazing poster. But that's the fight, when the antique shop gets burned down, and you get like so much good stuff, and it's like, it's thick. It's a lot of pages. It tells the entire story. What's interesting to me is that they do the one thing, and it's funny because I remember this distinctly from the comic book as well, the storyline that they adapted for the movie, when April is doing her whole thing, like talking about what the turtles are doing when they're back at the farm, and she's like, like Donatello latched on to Casey Jones, Leonardo kept a constant vigil over Raphael. And then they have this one part, and they didn't do this in the movie, but they had it in here, and it was in the original comic as well, where she talks about Michelangelo being the one that worries her the most because he spends all his time training alone. They show it in the movie. You see Michelangelo in the barn, like in like a barn or whatever, like beaten up on a heavy bag, but they don't give her the voiceover of that part, which I wonder why. I'm not really sure why that is. I'd be curious to know. And then you've got the rest of the story plays out just like it did in the movie. I mean, no spoilers, but then there's this cool little like epilogue that was not in the movie where April goes to a comic book company and basically pitches them the idea of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And you get the guy is like, these are very interesting drawings, Miss O'Neill, but as a basis for a comic book, I'm afraid the idea is just too far-fetched. And then they all start laughing. He's like, far-fetched? Yeah. And then you get this amazing cityscape, which, like, seriously? Like, you know how long that had to take to draw? Like, dude, that's like it's an incredible cityscape. Just oh yeah, it's an awesome cityscape. So anyway, I mean, at the time it was $6 for this. And it was still when they were coming from Mirage Studios at the time. I'm not sure how many pages it is, because the pages aren't numbered and I didn't count it. But what a great book. I mean, honestly, like, it gives you the origins of the Turtles. It gives you the origins of Splinter, of Shredder, and everything that you see in the movie. It's all in there, and it's just so good. Like, they really, really cared about making a quality adaptation. Like, you could tell that Eastman and Laird cared about these characters. They cared about this property that they created. And honestly, at this point, they really could have phoned it in, I'm telling you, because between the cartoon and the video games and then the movie's huge success, like, they didn't have to have anything to do with this, honestly. They could have just farmed this out to a couple of guys, paid them bare minimum page rates, and just crapped out an adaptation of the movie that would have sold, for $6. People would have bought it. I would have bought it, regardless, just because it was Ninja Turtles. But instead, they turned out this really fantastic quality book, and just, I mean, it's almost like a pinnacle of what that era, the '90s indie comic scene, could do. Like, look at this double page spread, man. Just, I mean, I could sit here and just gawk at this stuff all day and just gush about it, but absolutely, if you have this somewhere, I recommend digging it up. It's way better than you probably remember it being. If you don't have it and you could track it down somewhere, it's absolutely worth it to track it down because it's a really cool book. So absolutely 100% recommend it. So I hope you had fun just kind of going back through back down memory lane a little bit here. That's what old school comics is all about. A little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of fun, seeing if things hold up or if they don't. And just having a good time going over some cool stuff from back in the day. Like I said, sometimes I pull out books out of my boxes that I don't even remember buying. And then other times there's stuff that I absolutely treasure and remember 100%. So totally, absolutely recommend this. If you want to see more old school comics videos, I'm kind of trying to make it a habit to kind of do one a week, maybe do them on Sundays. I feel like Sunday is a good day for them. You're relaxing on the weekend, chilling out. So just let me know if you want to see more like that. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter at jam_creates. I'm also on Instagram at jam_creates. Don't forget to sign up for Indie Comics Underground, www.indiecomics_underground.com. You'll get the newsletter first if you sign up before the rest of the internet gets it. So you'll be able to be like, oh, I already know what's in there, suckers. Anyway, and you can read the old issues there as well. Go to indiecomics_underground.com and you can read all the previous issues. They're all posted there. Amazing covers by some really cool artists, original covers. I try to continue to get like cool covers for the art. Some of them are by me. And then others are by other artists. I hope you enjoy them all. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys again soon. And peace out, dude.